أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. واللعن الدائم على أعدائهم من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. Mubarak, brothers and sisters. This occasion, the night of the Wiladat of السيدة الطاهرة فاطمة الزهراء عليها الصلاة والسلام. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Ahzab, He said, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. This ayah 21. Indeed, that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala set up example, or you have, or gave you example, or a role model, which is the Holy Prophet. And as we know, Ahlul Bayt, alayhum as-salatu was-salam, same nur. We can take Rasulullah as a role model, as a uswa, as a qudwa in Arabic, to follow them. Same thing we learn from the smallest person in Ahlul Bayt. Also we have our Imam al-Zaman, Al-Hujjah Ajjallah Ta'ala Farajahu al-Sharif. He said, وَلِي أُسْوَةٌ بِابْنَةِ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ, or وَلِي أُسْوَةٌ بِأُمِّ فَاطِمَةِ. Uswa means a role model, uswa or qudwa, a person you can follow. There's a question now. Can we, or can Muslims or non-Muslims, here in the ayah, Allah did not mention only Muslims can benefit and take the Holy Prophet or Az-Zahra alayhi salatu wassalam as a role model. Non-Muslim can do that. And we see in our time and before, non-Muslim learn from Quran, from Ahlul Bayt, from Fatimah alayhi salatu wassalam. Can we take them? Or maybe a person could say, where is Fatimah? Ladies, because Fatimah alayhi salatu wassalam, not just a role model for a ladies, for a man also. She's uswa and qudwa. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, he said, Fatimah hawra'un insiyya. Hawra', we know how is the Fatimah alayhi salatu wassalam, her nutfa from the heaven, from the behesht. So she had two sides. From one side, she is huri, hawra'. That's why Aisha, she used to see the Holy Prophet so many times smelling Fatimah alayhi salatu wassalam. فقالت يا رسول الله إني أراك تكثر من شم فاطمة. I see you smell Fatimah a lot. فقال لأن فاطمة حوراء إنسية ومتى ما اشتقت إلى ريح الجنة ورائحة الجنة شممت ابنتي فاطمة. Zahra, she's from the fruit of the heaven. حوراء إنسية. Whenever I need to smell the heaven, I smell and I kiss my daughter. But from other hand, the ayah in the Quran, Allah, when He described the Holy Prophet, He said, قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ يُوحَى إِلَيَّ. Even Rasulullah, from one side, he's a human being. We can take him as a role model. From other side, he is yuha ilayya. Of course, we cannot copy them 100% or be like ma'sumin. But at least we can follow them. We can follow their life. And Imam Ali alayhi salam, he said, Ala wa inna imamakum, he described how he was very simple in his life. Then he said, wa innakum la taqdiruna ala dhalik. You cannot be like me. Imam, he used to eat only one time in the year, he used to eat a meat. Right? But he said, وَلَكِنَّكُمْ أَعِينُونِي بِوَرَعٍ وَاجْتِهَادٍ وَعِفَّةٍ وَسَدَادٍ. You do whatever you can. So the answer is, yes, we can, ladies, brothers, sisters, we can follow and we can take Ahlul Bayt, we can take Fatimah al-Zahra alayha salatu wassalam as a role model. So, Al-Zahra alayhi salam, we know she born in the books, according to Ahlul Bayt, she born in, according to Imam Baqir and Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam, ولدت فاطمة في السنة الخامسة من البعثة. After the Ba'th of the Holy Prophet, 5 years. Or, Imam Sadiq is a different way. بعد مولد النبي ب45 عاما. So you can say this or this. Either the Holy Prophet was 45 years old, or 5 years after Ba'tha. Now, other school, they want to make Fatima. They said she born 5 or 8 years before Ba'tha, to target or to hit 2 goals they have. They want to put her down. First, they want to say that she born before Islam. She is same as the other ladies. Second, she want to deny that the nutfa of Fatimah al-Zahra was from the heaven, from the apple, from the tufaha, from the fruit of the heaven. So Zahra alayhi salatu wasalam, we can take her as a role model and learn so many things from her life. For example, one of the attributes of a mu'min, to be easy person. سهل المؤمن عليكم السلام. المؤمن سهل البيع, سهل الشراء, سهل التقاضي, easy. And also simple in his life or in her life. If you see the mahar, we can learn from Fatimah Zahra alayhi salatu wasalam when she was a child. That's why they call her Abiha. She was protecting her father. When mushrikeen, they used to bother him, she used to go and clean the shoulder and the head of her father. That's why they call her, he called her Abiha. So she was a role model. She had a simple, very simple life. For example, the mahar, we have 3 riwayah of the mahar and the dowry of Az-Zahra alayha salatu wasalam. Either 500 dirham in one riwayah, in one riwayah 480 dirham, in one riwayah 30 dirham. Alaykum salam. Some ulama, they take this because this darahim, they were the price of the shield of Imam Ali alayhi salam. When the first Khalifa and the second Khalifa, they went to the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, to ask the hand of Fatima, which she was in year 2nd of Hijrah, she got married. Very young. We can take her as a role model in early marriage. Now, youth, they delay their marriage. But Fatima alayhi salatu wasalam, when she left this world, she was less than 19 years old. 18 years and 7 months. Not even 19 years. In one riwayah, which is very famous riwayah, we have that she had 5 children. Another riwayah, she had 6 children. Hassan al-Hussein, and al-Muhsin al-Saqt, and Zainab al-Kubra, And Zainab, Kulthum, in one riwayah, she had another Zainab. So she had 3 Zainab. Zainab al-Kubra, Zainab al-Wusta, Zainab al-Sughra. Zainab al-Kubra, Zainab we know, she buried in Sham. Zainab al-Wusta, Kulthum, she buried in Cairo. Zainab al-Sughra, the small Zainab, she died during the time of her brother time, Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So, when the first Khalifa and the second Khalifa approached Rasulullah one after one, Rasulullah, he said, أَنْتَظِرُ بِهَا الْقَضَاء أَنْتَظِرُ بِهَا أَمْرَ رَبِّي. Because the marriage was by the order of Allah. And he said, لَقَدْ زَوَّجَكَ اللَّهُ فِي السَّمَاءِ قَبْلَ تَزْوِيجِ إِيَّاكَ. Allah, this is the plan, the order of Allah for the marriage of the 2 Nur, Fatimah and Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. Then the Holy Prophet, he said, what do you have? It's a dowry. Dowry in Islam is highly recommended, brothers and sisters, to have very simple dowry. Hafl, jashan, all these expenses is special the dowry. Very simple. He said, Ya Rasulullah, I have my sword, and I have my nadih, and I have my shield, dir. He said, your nadih and your horse. In one riwayah, he said, I have 4 things. My horse, my sword, my shield, and the nadih. Nadih means the camel. He said, you need the horse, and you need the camel, and you need the sword. Because Imam Ali is a brave. So they asked Imam Ali, why you don't put shield? Sometimes they wear the shield. Sometimes no, they have it in their hand. So that shield, he said, you don't need a shield. And they asked him, why you don't wear the shield or use the shield? He said, I will not leave anyone stay behind me so I protect my back with the shield. I don't need that. And no one face me, I will not leave anyone. That's why when Hind, she wanted to kill one of the 3 in a battle of Uhud. She said to Wahshi, I want you to kill the Holy Prophet. He said, I cannot, because people are surrounding him. Kill Ali then. He said, no, Ali, he is very aware. I cannot kill him. Hamza, he said, maybe Hamza. So the Holy Prophet, he said, you need them? Very simple. Even Imam Ali alayhi salam, he had no house. This is the one lesson we learn, alaykum salam from the life of Az-Zahra alayhi salatu wasalam and Imam Ali. Their life was very simple. He had no house. Alaykum salam, alaykum salam. He rent a house. And what was the carpet of his room is a sand, only sand. And you can check the items of the mahar of Fatimah al-Zahra and the jihaz and the things was for their room. And the Holy Prophet, he said, أفضل نساء أمتي أصبحهن وجها وأقلهن مهرا. The best ladies, the best women among my ummah, which they have أصبحهن وجها. أصبحهن وجها does not mean beautiful, no, but good akhlaq. Sometimes you see people, they are beautiful, but their akhlaq is not beautiful. أصبحهن وجها وأقلهن مهرا. The best ladies in my ummah, the Holy Prophet, he said, those who they have a good akhlaq, always happy with everyone. Next attribute, وَأَقَلُّهُنَّ مَهْرًا. those who they have less dowry. And من شؤم المرأة كثرة مهرها. One of the bad luck of a lady, according to Ma'sumin, her dowry is high. Because a good woman, she is better than the mountain of the gold. وَالْمَرْأَةُ السَّيِّئَةُ تُرَابُ أَفْضَلُ مِنْهَا. The bad ladies, even the dust is better than her. So this is one lesson we can learn from the life of Ahlul Bayt, from the life of Az-Zahra alayhi salatu wassalam. Very simple. Imam Ali alayhi salam, he used to, when Rasulullah he visit his daughter, he asked Imam Ali alayhi salam, كيف وجدت أهلك؟ كيف وجدت زوجتك؟ كيف وجدت ابنتي? How did you find my daughter? فقال نعم العون على طاعة الله. The best help I found Zahra alayhi salatu wasalam, the best help to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then he asked him question. He asked his daughter, كيف وجدت عليا? How did you find Ali? She said, نعم الزوج, the best husband. Rasulullah, when he visited them in this day, he set up a plan for the responsibilities of Fatimah. He divided the responsibilities. Of course, Imam Ali is ma'asum, he knows, but this is for us to follow them, to take them as a role model. He said, the door of the house, he said, from this door inside, the responsibility of Fatima to Zahra alayhi salatu wassalam. And from the door, the outside of the door, the responsibility is upon the shoulder of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Fatima, she accepted. She said, لا يعلم إلا الله ما داخلني من الفرح والسرور. No one knows how much I became happy that I will not go and work and mix with a man. My responsibility is here. This is baytuha. She was very, very simple. And even when we have the story of the tasbih of Fatima to Zahra, as a story behind it. The tasbih of Zahra, she had a thread. كان لها خيط فيه 34 عقدة. She had a thread with 34 knots in it. So she used to do the tasbih and count with this. فلما استشهد حمزة, when the Hamza he became shaheed, she made tasbih from the dust of the grave of Hamza alayhi salam. Then she used to do all the work at home. قال علي عليه السلام لقد طحنت بالرحى حتى مجلت يداها. She used to pound the wheat and barley until it was the sign on her hand. ولقد طبخت حتى دكنت ثيابها. She used to cook, she used to sweep, she used to work. And then after years, Imam Ali alayhi salam, he said, Ya Fatima, we have some ghanaim your father received. Why you don't go ask your father? She came, and some people, they were guests. She shy, she left. So the Holy Prophet, he approached them. He said, you had something, so she was shy. So Imam alayhi salam, he said, I will tell you, Ya Rasulullah, why she came yesterday to ask you. And he told him the story. Rasulullah did not give Fatima and Imam Ali khadim, a servant. He said he gave her this tuhfa. This is special things, hadiyah from the Holy Prophet. He said, Ya Bunayya, this is for all of us. Tasbih al-Zahra is very important. And even Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, he said, لَقَدْ كُنَّا نُعَلِّمُ صِبْيَانَنَا. We used to teach our children to do tasbih of Zahra. Before you change your position of the salat, do tasbih of Zahra alayhi salatu wassalam. It is counted in a dhikr al-kathir. So he said, when you go sleep, we have two ways of the riwayah of tasbih al-Zahra. Looks like at night you say the takbir first. 34 takbir, 33 hamd, 30 tasbih. Right? Or the way we do. فقال لك سأعطيك شيئا أفضل لك من الخادم. I will give you. This is, we said, easy to accept. One of the attributes of mu'min, سهل التقاضي, سهل البيع, سهل الشراء, easy. So he said, I will give you this tasbih is better than than the khadim or a servant. And he told her, what did she say? She said, رضيت من الله ومن رسوله. I accept what Rasulullah and Allah gave me. Here is one thing. We all know the story of why she went and asked her father for khadim, for servant, because she had no time. So one of the benefits, brothers and sisters, of Tasbih al-Zahra is to put barakah in your time, in our time. You try this. Always don't leave. Practice and do the Tasbih al-Zahra. Allah will put barakah in your time. Tasbih al-Zahra alayha salatu wassalam. And he said, إنها مئة في اللسان. The Holy Prophet, he said to her, Tasbih is 100 in your tongue. ولكن ألف في الميزان, equal by 1,000 ثواب and reward. Right? So, but Imam Ali alayhi salam, he used to help his wife at home. I'll tell you one riwayah and then we'll finish inshallah after loud salawat. دخل علي عليه السلام الدار يوما. This is, we can listen from this story. Imam Ali alayhi salam, he entered the house. He said, فقال ما عندك يا فاطمة? What do you have? She said, I don't have anything. Since 3 days we don't have. فقال لم لا تعلميني? You should tell me, you need this, you need this. فقالت إن أبي قال لي لا تسألي عليا شيئا. Do not ask him. Do not ask him something he cannot. So we have a riwayah also from him, from Imam Ali alayhi salam. He said, إذا دخل عليها, when he used to enter the house of Fatima, استقبلته بالبشر. She used to welcome him and call him Ya Abul Hasan. In Arab tradition, and even in the ahadith, in Arab, when you need to respect a person, you call him Abu Fulan or Fulan. And in the ahadith, إذا غاب عنك أخيك فكنه وإذا رأيته فسمه. This is sort of respect in Islam and in Arab tradition. When your brother, he's far, he's not in the majlis, you name him with the best name, with the kunya, Abu Fulan. When he is close to you, you call him by his first name. But it's not recommended. This is a different subject. I will mix it since we mentioned this. One of the things will bring, I see some youth, mashallah, here. One of the things, we have more than 150 items could affect the sustenance and rizq and income of a person. One of them is this. If a child or a son, doesn't have to be a child, if a son or a daughter call the parents by their first name, here in America is a common. Some father, they say John, George, Mike. But in Islam, no, it's not recommended. If a person call a father or a mother by their first name, that could make the sustenance, the rizq is short, could bring poverty to that person. إن مخاطبة أو الأب أو الأم باسمهم الأول يجلب الفقر, could bring poverty for the person. Right? So she used to say, Ya Abul Hassan, respect, or the father of Hassan. إذا دخل الدار استقبلته بالبشر, smile. في وجهها وإذا خرج شيعته, when he leave شيع. We have two meanings of تشيع. تشيع جنازة and تشيع is a farewell, they call. شيع is a mustahab. When a person come, you go with him until the door. I used to visit one of our mu'min friends in my childhood in Iraq. So he used to come with me to the door. And I say, Haji, don't do zahma and takalluf. I will leave. He said, no, I want to make sure you leave the house. So it's mustahab to go and do tashyi' for your guest. And here in America, we have adab and manners in Islam. In America, if they want to respect you, they open the door for you. But in Islam, no. If you open the doors, mean go out. So don't open the door for your guest. Right? So sometimes opposite. Right? So وإن خرج شيعته بطيب وطيب الخلق يزينها. And he gave a statement. Imam Ali alayhi salam, he gave a statement. He said, فَوَاللَّهِ مَا أَغْضَبْتُهَا. This is another thing we can learn. Because marriage, brothers and sisters, is a skill, is a fan. We have to learn. It's highly recommended in this Imam Barga and where else to have marriage workshop. We need to go Hajj, we have workshop. Marriage workshop is very important to learn from the life of Fatimah to Zahra alayha salatu wassalam. So he said, فَوَاللَّهِ, he swear by Allah, فَوَاللَّهِ مَا أَغْضَبْتُهَا. Within the time for the marriage was about 9 years, less than 10 years. Not even a single day I made her angry. فَوَاللَّهِ مَا أَغْضَبْتُهَا وَلَا أَكْرَهْتُهَا. I never forced her about something. على أمر. And this is the habit of Ahlul Bayt. Anas, he said, I was serving the Holy Prophet for 10 or 11 years. He did not tell me even one single day, why did you do this? Why did not do this? This is the habit of Ahlul Bayt. حتى قبضها الله عز وجل, until she died. ولا أغضبتني. And it did not make me angry. ولا عصت لي أمرا. She did not disobey me even one time. This is the last, very nice statement. وَلَقَدْ كُنْتُ أَنظُرُ إِلَيْهَا فَتَنْكَشِفُ عَنِّي الْهُمُومُ وَالْأَحْزَانُ. When I used to look at the face of Fatimah, all the huzn, all the gham, all the difficulties will remove from my face and from myself. وَلَقَدْ كُنْتُ أَنظُرُ إِلَيْهَا فَتَنْكَشِفُ عَنِّي الْهُمُومُ وَالْأَحْزَانُ. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us tawfiq to be a real followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salatu was-salam, special Fatimah az-Zahra alayha as-salatu was-salam. Wassalamu alaykum wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi at-tahirin.
أفضل الصلاة محمد وآل محمد. ہاں وہ ہے فاطمہ، ہاں وہ ہے فاطمہ، ہاں وہ ہے فاطمہ، ہاں وہ ہے فاطمہ. نازل دل رسول پر، نازل دل رسول پر جو معجزہ ہوا، ہاں وہ ہے فاطمہ، ہاں وہ ہے فاطمہ، ہاں وہ ہے فاطمہ. اور چرکا جو کاٹتی ہے تو بنتی ہے آسمان، چاکی جو پیستی ہے تو چلتا ہے یہ جہاں. یوں ہاتھ کبریا کا، یوں ہاتھ کبریا کا بٹاتی ہے جو صدا، ہاں وہ ہے فاطمہ، ہاں وہ ہے فاطمہ، ہاں وہ ہے فاطمہ. قانون کبریا ہے یہ اس کائنات میں، شوہر کا رزق لکھا ہے زوجہ کے ہاتھ میں، تحریر جس کے ہاتھ میں، تحریر جس کے ہاتھ میں ہے رزق مرتضیٰ، ہاں وہ ہے فاطمہ، ہاں وہ ہے فاطمہ، ہاں وہ ہے فاطمہ. معصوم کی حدیث ہے سب کو ہے یہ خبر، 14 نقاب نور ہے خالق کے نور پر. پہلا نقاب جو ہے، پہلا نقاب جو ہے رخے کردگار کا، ہاں وہ ہے فاطمہ، ہاں وہ ہے فاطمہ، ہاں وہ ہے فاطمہ. تعظیم کائنات میں حیدر کے ساتھ تھی، میٹھی خمیر حضرت آدم سے جو بچی، جس نے اسے خمیر سے، جس نے اسے خمیر سے ہوا کو دی جلا، ہاں وہ ہے فاطمہ، ہاں وہ ہے فاطمہ، ہاں وہ ہے فاطمہ. عصمت کا رب نے پاس یوں رکھا کتاب میں، आयात में भी जिक्र किया तो हिजाब में, कुरान में जिसका नाम भी, कुरान में जिसका नाम भी खुल कर नहीं लिखा, हाँ वो है फातिमा, हाँ वो है फातिमा, हाँ वो है फातिमा। नाजिल दिले रसूल पर, नाजिल दिले रसूल पर जो मौजिज़ा हुआ, हाँ वो है फातिमा, हाँ वो है फातिमा, हाँ वो है फातिमा। मोहम्मद व आल मोहम्मद सलवात।
Surah Barakatul Fatiha. I didn't get to say this earlier, but on behalf of the executive committee, I would like to congratulate you guys all on the Wiladat of Bibi Fatimah. If you could just give us 2-3 minutes, we're just gonna set up the Q&A, but if you could please, I'd like to invite Sayyid and Sheikh up to please sit. So if you could please welcome them with a loud salawat.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Congratulations to you all on this auspicious occasion, the birth anniversary of the Diane of all women, Lady Fatimah az-Zahra alayha salam. Before we start, is a request for dua for shifa. Marid Sayyid Hussein, Riyadh Hussein's brother, right? Sayyid. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inshallah grant him shifa by the honor of this night. So let's recite together 5 times. Amma yujib. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Amma yujibu al-mudtarra idha da'ahu wa yakshifu as-su'. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء 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 اللهم بفاطمة وأبيها وبعلها وبنيها والسر المستودع فيها اللهم اشفي مريضنا وكل مريض بمريض كربلاء زين العابدين يا الله ببركة الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. I'd like to take this opportunity again to welcome our dear and respected Sheikh, His Eminence, the Sheikh Alhaeri, who is visiting us from Maryland. And I'd like to express on all of your behalf our deepest gratitude and pleasure for his presence. Thank you very much, Shaykhana, Jazakallah khair, for enlightening us in this community with your wise words, inshallah. So we'll take this opportunity to benefit, inshallah, Shaykhana, from your knowledge and to have our respected brothers and sisters ask their questions, inshallah, and we'll keep this a very informal dialogue, inshallah, so please do not be shy to ask. Sisters, also, please, you have a microphone on your end, inshallah. And we will share the microphone here between me and Samahat al-Sheikh. Tafadhal, Sheikh, tafadhal.
say loud salawat before the question, inshallah. In America, they say ladies first. So today is the Milad of Zahra alayhi salatu wassalam. So they should start.
Regarding Bibi Fatima's birth, there's some disagreement that she was born 5 years before Basat or after that. Can you clarify what's the common Shia perspective on that?
Yes, أحسنت. Ahlul Bayt, well, sometime the other school of thought, they want to make some people complete and kamil, even if they put the Holy Prophet or Imam Ali or Az-Zahra alayhi salatu wasalam down. And we mentioned that they want to achieve two things. When they said Az-Zahra alayhi salatu wasalam, she born before Ba'tha. That she did not born as a Muslim. Second, we believe that the nutfa of Az-Zahra was from the heaven. We have two riwayah. Either when the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him and his progeny, he went to the Mi'raj, Jibreel gave him from the fruit of the heaven, or we have another riwayah, in the year 4th of Ba'tha, Jibreel brought Ma'idah, fruit from the heaven, and the Holy Prophet, he used to eat, because in Islam is makruh to eat alone. But in that time, only the Holy Prophet, he ate from that food. And he stayed away from Khadija, alayhi salatu wasalam. Then he went near to her, then the nutfa of Fatimah Zahra. So they want to give a credit to another ladies. They make her younger, Muslim, this and this, and they put Fatimah Zahra alayhi salatu wasalam down. And this had so many, for example, Muawiyah. Muawiyah, he wrote to the people who they have a hadith, and he bribed them with the money to change and to put all the fada'il from Imam Ali to others. For example, the Holy Prophet, he said, "Ana madinatul ilm wa aliyun babuha." I am the gate of the knowledge, and Ali is the door of that. So they came and they say, okay, Fulan is the roof, Fulan is the window, right? To put some fadila for them, right? Or, for example, the marriage of Az-Zahra, it was from the order of the sky, from Allah, right? So they said, no, one of the wife of the Holy Prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Jibreel to show him the picture of her, and he ordered him to marry her. So that's why they insist on this ahadith to make her less important, Fatimah al-Zahra alayha salatu wassalam.
Would like to ask another question of Sheikh Nassim. Yes, go ahead, brother. Sure, I'll reinstate the question for those who did not hear it. So the brother was asking about something from the Quran that we can recite, or a tasbih or a dua, when somebody's going through a hard time or struggle or hardship and they want to basically have relief. Sheikh, you have any recommendations?
Yes, of course, we have the khasa'is. For example, every ayat, Surah Yasin is important. For example, Surah Al-Waqa'ah is good for the sustenance. So we have some ayats, some surahs. For example, if you have a dear one, if you have your family in overseas and they are not coming to US, for example, you need for them to come closer. We have some you call in Urdu, you call wazifa or a'mal. You can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You recite Surah Al-Zalzala. Both they recite. The person there and the person is here. Or for example, for rizq and sustenance, right? We have special ayat. For the difficulties, I am not sure now, but we should have some, ayat or ahadith or some kind of salat. For example, Ziyarat Ashura is important. And names of Allah, Asma'ullah. For example, if you need a rizq, you said Ya Fattah, Ya Razzaq. Probably you could say Ya Musahil, right? And Surah Al-Fatiha is important to recite Surah Al-Fatiha. And you have ask mu'mineen to pray for you, Dua al-Mu'min. Ask the parents. The dua of the parents, the father and mother is accepted, is important. Ziyarat Ashura is important. Majalis of Ahlul Bayt to hold in your home. And even if your parents, they pass away, you go near to their grave and do dua. Istijabat al-dua عند قبر الوالدين. So many a'mal, inshallah. Inshallah, after this program, I will take your number and I give you specific more a'mal, inshallah, for this, your hajj, inshallah.
You have one? Okay. Sister, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, my apologies.
Okay.
I was curious about Salat Fatima Zahra and like information on it. Something about going and like doing Salat Fatima Zahra and then seeing a dream maybe or something like that, or what is it? Can I have more information on that?
So you're asking what is Salat Fatimah Zahra alayhi salam? Is that what you're asking?
Yes,
Okay.
and kind of like just more information on it.
Okay. Shaykhana, Salat Fatimah Zahra.
Salat Fatima Zahra alayhi salatu wasalam is recommended for hajat also. So it's in Mafatih al-Jinan. You say the 2 rak'ah salat, and after that you go, I might not will say it in exactly, but you refer to Mafatih al-Jinan exactly, but this is highly recommended for hajat. The tawassul of Fatimah al-Zahra alayhi salatu wassalam, even our ma'sumin alayhi salatu wassalam, in the riwayat, that's al-Imam al-Baqir alayhi salatu wassalam, he was ill. He had a fever or something. He used to go close to his door and he used to say, Ya Sayyidati Ya Fatima aghithini, rush to me. Tawassul with Fatima al-Zahra. So I believe after the 2 rak'ah you go to sujood 100 times, Ya Fatima aghithini, then on the right cheek, then on the left cheek, then on the sujood 101 times you say that, this dhikr. But this is about 95% is like that. There is some small dua after that. It's highly recommended. Tawassul to Fatimah al-Zahra alayha salatu wasalam. Her maqam is so high. And we all have Mafatih al-Jinan. One of the secret behind the Tawfiq, a very popular book of Mafatih al-Jinan, because Sheikh Abbas Qummi, when he authored this book, he gave this as a hadiyah for the thawab of Fatimah al-Zahra alayha salatu wassalam. It's very important. The tawassul to Fatimah al-Zahra alayha salatu wassalam.
As for seeing her in a dream or seeing any of the ma'sumin, there are specific a'mal that can be done also in Mafatih al-Jinan. However, they're not guaranteed to work because the A'imma alayhimus salam know when it is the best interest of a believer to have such a dream or such a view of the Ma'sum alayhi salam. So most importantly, we should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enlighten us, even albeit in our dreams, to see their glorious faces. But if that doesn't happen in our lifetime, it will surely happen, insha'Allah, at the moment of death, because we also have many riwayat that say they would be present during that moment, insha'Allah. Any other questions?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So Sheikh, I also want to take the opportunity to welcome you. Thank you for coming to our center. Just for everybody's knowledge, Sheikh is the resident alim of Imam Mahdi Education Center in Maryland. So my question to you, Sheikh, is not many of us know the activities at Imam Mahdi Education Center. So if you could briefly tell us one or two or three things that what does this education center do? I know you travel a lot across North America and many centers, but inshallah, if you can please brief us.
Jazakumullah khair, ahsantum. They said to a person, they were eating. So the food was delicious food. So they asked him, brother, can you describe and can you tell us the story of Prophet Yusuf? The story of Prophet Yusuf, so details. He said, brother, child, he got lost, then they found him. So I'll give you, brother, jazakallah khair. I'm saying the joke because tomorrow is Milad. And one of the habits and attributes of a mu'min, al-mu'minu hashun bash. Right? Mu'min hashun bash, always with smile and saying latifa and joke. But the joke is, in the ahadith, joke is same as the salt. If you put a lot of salt in the food, then you cannot eat it. But it's good to say jokes sometime, right? Alhamdulillah, we are a member of Nasimco, and Hajj Hussein Waldi is not here. He is in Umrah, and he played a very important role to support our center, alhamdulillah. And I know lots of people here, and sometimes I make a joke. I said, I'm an Iraqi Khoja. So the center is very small over there in Washington, D.C., in Maryland, called Imam Mahdi Education Center. And we have about 3 centers there by this name, one in Baltimore, one in Richmond. Even Richmond is not. So we have a total of 14 or 15 centers, Shia centers there in Maryland. And the activity, alhamdulillah, we have the only center we have a full size of tennis court, and we have a swimming pool. Inshallah, whenever you come, we invite you to come in summertime, inshallah, there. So make your camp there. So we have Muharram, we have holy month of Ramadan, and other similar activities we have in the center. Jazakumullah khair.
Sheikh, you have a pool, but you don't have a gym like the gym we have. Yeah. Any other questions from the sister's sides or the brother's side?
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. I have a question.
Assalamu rahmatullah.
I actually have 2 questions, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, please.
My first one is when Hazrat Khadija married Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all the Arab women did not talk to her afterward. So when Bibi Fatimah to Zahra sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like when she was Hazrat Khadija was giving birth to our Bibi, who was with her at that time?
Fadlu Sheikh.
Yes. Ahsant, sister. Yes, because when the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him and his progeny, he married Khadija. Khadija, she was very rich lady, and very wise lady. And so the ladies of Quraysh, they boycott her, Khadija, because why you marry the faqir, the poor? To be poor is not important. So they boycott her, and during the pregnancy of Fatimah alayhi salatu wasalam, so she was alone, no one with her. So in our riwayat, one of the names, one of the title of Fatimah al-Zahra, she was al-Muhaddatha and al-Muhadditha. Muhaddatha, when after the shahada of her father, Jibreel, he used to come to her and he used to give her sabr and tell her what's going to be happen on her and her children. And that was about either 45 days or 75 days. Within this period of time, Jibreel used to come. Not for the risala. She's not a prophet. Right? And Imam Ali alayhi salam, he used to take notes of that, what Jibreel used to tell Fatima. Makes Mushaf of Fatima, the book of Fatima. And then this Muhadditha with Kasr, we believe that when Bibi Khadija alayhi salatu wasalam, she had this condition, the ladies of Quraysh, they were boycotting her. No one come with her. For example, here now, if a lady, she becomes pregnant, they do like shower for her, they come to her, they help her. Prior to the Wiladat, prior to the birth, after birth, during the birth. So Bibi Fatima alayhi salatu wasalam, she used to talk to her mother while she was in the stomach. That's muhadditha. So one day the Holy Prophet, he came and he heard Khadija, she's talking to someone. فقال لها من تحدثين؟ قالت إن الجنين الذي في بطني يحدثني ويؤنسني. The infant in my stomach is talking to me and take the loneliness from me. And so the Holy Prophet, he said, yes, إنها الصديقة الوليدة الميمونة. And Allah will make all my descendants and the imams from this lady with the barakat. إنها النسمة الميمونة. During the birth of Fatima, Khadija, she saw 4 ladies. They came to help her during the time of the birth. She said, the first one, she said, أنا أمك حواء. I am your mother, Hawa. And the second one, she said, I am Maryam, ibnatu Imran. The third one, she said, I am Asiya, the wife of Fir'aun, Asiya bint Muzahim. And the fourth one, she said, I am Kaltham, the sister of Musa alayhi salam. We came, جئنا لنلي منك ما تلي النساء, to help you. So it's lots of lessons here, brothers and sisters. صانع وجها واحدا يكفيك الوجه. If you deal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, عبدي أطعني تكون مثلي أو مثلي. تقول للشيء كن فيكون وأقول للشيء كن فيكون. O my servant, obey me, you will be like me. You say to things be, same as I say to things be. So Fatima Zahra, she was very close to Allah. So Allah sent her these 4 special ladies.
You had another question? You had a second question?
Yes, thank you so much
Sure.
for that. My second question is, could you maybe tell us like an incident or an event from the life of Bibi Fatimah Zahra Samalha that emphasizes the importance on hijab, and like an answer to all those who, whenever we mention like the importance of hijab, they simply say they simply use the excuse of, oh, it's only, what counts is what's in the heart, and they say, I'm trying my best, but really not. So
Ahsantum. Shaykhana, you want to handle this? So one of the main incidents, or the most important incidents, is when she had to leave her home to give her Fadaki sermon. When Abu Bakr usurped the land of Fadak, Lady Fatima had to put the argument against him and put the proof against him. And the narration says that she wore so many clothes, her normal clothing, an abaya on top of that, and a boshia to cover her face. Not only that, she had brought some of the family, relatives of her, to come around her so that no one can see her shape. This is how modest Fatima was. And when she entered the masjid, she requested a mula'a, a cloth partition, so that when she's already covered and there's people around her and she's wearing all the hijab that you can think of, and she still requested that, they placed that mula'a so that no one can even glance at the appearance of Fatima salamullahi alayha. This is basically the exemplar of the highest quality or the highest level of hijab. Had it been only enough to have love for Allah and be pious within yourself or in your heart, I don't think anyone can compete with Fatima on the purity of the heart. She's from the people who Allah purified with Ayatul Tathir and many other adillah that we have. So therefore, it is not enough to have that inner love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but also to observe the highest level of modesty. Of course, we understand there are different levels of iman. And as we grow in our lives, we go through different struggles, and with every struggle, we try to become better. We don't want to label those who are struggling with hijab as people who are, lacking faith. We don't want to do that. We want to make sure that these people are given the respect, given the appreciation. However, we want to help them. We want to be as kind as we can to them. They say there was a wise person who was sitting near a place, and people were walking by and they were doing sinful acts. And they said to him, "You're close to Allah. Why don't you make dua against these people so Allah can destroy them?" So he raised his hand in dua and says, "Oh Allah, make them happy in this dunya and in the akhirah." They said, "We asked you to make dua against them. What do you mean make them happy in the akhirah?" He says, because if Allah wants to make them happy in the akhirah, inshallah, He will guide them. So let's be positive. Let's ask for their guidance and not ask for their destruction. Yes, it is not a justification to say, well, I don't think, whenever a person begins to do tashri', begins to legislate from their mind and become a faqih and say it's only enough to be pure in the heart, this is when they're going wrong. This is where we cannot say to them, yeah, go ahead with that. No, they can't go ahead with that. If they say we understand, hijab is wajib, it is a must, and it's a sin not to wear it, and we are trying, it's been a struggle, okay, we understand, try, and you'll get there one day if you have the true intention and sincerity. It's like waking up in the morning, right? We all struggle to wake up for Fajr. Some people struggle to keep their body covered. We understand we live in a country that is very difficult and a time that is very difficult, but again, that does not justify taking it lightly and not taking it serious. Hijab is a very important pillar in Islam. It is like salah, it's wajib. So there's no one in the Muslim ulama from any madhab that says that it is optional or it's recommended. It's wajib. And by abandoning it, a person insists on sin. And when a person is sinning, every time they go out in public, not wearing hijab or not wearing proper hijab, they're adding sin plus sin plus sin plus sin plus sin until the day they repent, inshallah. So yes, it is wajib. Fatima demonstrated the highest level of hijab. Zainab, her daughter, took her role afterwards and demonstrated also the highest level of hijab, to the extent that there is a hadith that says when she wants to go visit the grandfather, Rasulullah, the imam would tell her, wait till the night. And when she goes at night, of course it's dark, there's no electricity at that time, so they would take their candles with them or something, some type of light, and he would place her brothers around her, like guards, so no one can see her. This is at night. And they're going, but in case somebody sees the shape of Zainab, it's not like Zainab was wearing tight pants and tight shirt. No, she's wearing full abaya, but still, you You should not even know how tall Zainab was. You should not know how tall or how short she was, how big or how small she was. This is how much they were very, very keen. And when you hear in Karbala, they were struggling and crying about hijab, they were not talking about their headscarf, because that was there. They were talking about the veil that they put on their face. That was usurped from them, and that is why they were so sad and angry. And they told Yazid, in the castle, أَبْدَيْتَ وُجُوهَهُنْ. How dare you, Yazid, you allow our faces to be seen. This was like a huge crime in the eyes of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. Sheikhna.
Yes, as Mullah Sayyid al-Jabari mentioned, that's one of the companion of Imam Ali alayhi salam in Kufa. Because Imam Ali alayhi salam ruled Kufa about almost 5 years. So he said, لَقَدْ جَاوَرْتُ عَلِيًّا كَذَا مِنَ السِّنِينَ وَلَمْ أَعْلَمْ وَلَمْ أَرَ زَيْنَبًا. I was a neighbor to Imam Ali alayhi salam to the point I did not know that he had a daughter by Zainab alayhi salatu wasalam. So the hijab is very important. And even as Zahra alayhi salatu wasalam, as we know, when at the last days of her rahil, before her shahada, she was very sad. And she told, I believe, Salama, Asma bint Umays, she said, I lost weight. And back then they used to put the janazah on a piece of wood. Until now, sometime I believe, when I went to Mecca, or most of you, sometimes they bring the body is a flat on the wood, so you can see the body of the mayyit, the deceased one. So she was worried. That's after her shahada, after her, not during her lifetime. So, of course, because we have another riwayah that's Jibreel show her this nash, is a box. They put the janazah inside. You cannot see the shape of the mayyit, right? And we have some riwayah that's she told her, Asma, she's the one. I was in Abyssinia, they used to put the mayyit inside the box, inside the nash. So she smiled. She smiled 2 times. One time when her father, Rasulullah, told her, first she cried, then she smiled. He told her, you are the first person you will join me. And then second time she smiled when Asma told her about this, the way of covering the body. And then she said, Satartini satarakillah. You give me this, cover, Allah cover you in dunya and akhirah. So the hijab is very important to the ladies. And I will share one story. I don't mean as Maulana mentioned. We don't know. إن الله لا ينظر إلى صوركم ولكن ينظر إلى قلوبكم. Allah will not judge you by your outside, your shape. What's your intention? That's of course. Some of they do gunah. I know one lady, she said she had a friend, and this lady, this girl, she was single. And the lady, she was telling her, why you don't wear hijab? She said, no, let me marry. If I wear hijab, people, they will not see me. She said, you obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah will send you a qismah. So she accepted. She wore the hijab, and then after a few months, someone came and asked her hand. And then this lady, she asked her, how come you were waiting for a qismat, bakht? Right, qismat, sometime the girls, no one will come and ask their hand. They stay sometime for long years. So she said, we had a friend, a family, they were our neighbor in our country. He came and he asked for my hand. So she told him, who let them come? Otherwise, they are your neighbor. Look, you obeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah brought you this qismat. Right? وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ أَحْسَنَ وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. Who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will give him ease and send him away to solve his haja and need, inshallah.
Any other questions before we conclude? Brother Murtala, go ahead.
Yeah, so I don't know how to like best word this, but like I'm gonna try my best, I guess. It's like a two-part question, really. So like, say for example, you're trying to make dua, right? You're preparing yourself to read Surat Yasin. Is it permissible to ask, like, say, Ya Allah, I ask for all these angels to be invoked, like Angel Jibrail, Mikael, and the big angels to basically be invoked in your prayer, and so that to have them to basically pray on your behalf with you, along with the jinn al muslimin and things of that nature. Is it okay to include that in your prayer prior to reciting Surah Yasin and whatever it is that you desire? And is it more better to request, so like you invoke the angels and the jinn muslimin, and then after that, do you think it's better to ask your prayer after the prayer has been concluded or before? And then, not to make it hard, the second question is in regards to just, personal searching online when you're trying to, find the correct answers to things. But I've heard various people say things like, if you have bad pronunciation when you're reciting the Quran, right, that Allah will not only like accept your dua, that He will actually multiply it. Now, I don't know if this is just, to encourage people.
If you're not pronouncing it correctly, or
Yeah.
if you are pronouncing it correctly.
No, if you're not pronouncing it. Like, say, for instance, if you're not, good at, like, reading the Quran and you're struggling to read it, you're not proficient in it.
I mean,
And
the intention
you're
of
attempting.
the intention of wanting to learning and going through a struggle, yeah, that is desired, of course. But that doesn't mean that if somebody recites it correctly, they get less reward, and the person that does it incorrectly gets more reward. Otherwise, we all just recite it incorrectly. No, this is basically to encourage people to, to try their best, even if they cannot recite. Allah will hear them, inshallah. For the first question, Sheikh, now you want to take it? So basically, in terms of invoking the malaika, one very humble suggestion that I have, and this is something we learn from our asatida, our ulama, and from experience. Try not to suggest to Allah how He addresses your concern. You ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for anything you want, no problem. But don't suggest it. Oh, Allah, make this angel invoke, bring this person to. It's like, let Allah manage your affairs, because you have trust in Allah. You know that He'll do it right. Nobody will do it right like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah knows His employees well. Jibreel may not work for you today, right? He'll hire someone else. So try your best to have full trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, do you want, is it haram? It's not haram. Oh Allah, make all the jinn of the Muslimin pray for me. Make all the angels pray for me. Send my salam to my imam and please ask my imam to pray for me. There's no problem in that. But better than that is to entrust everything to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ilahi anta kama urid faj'alni kama turid. Oh Allah, you are as I like, make me as you like. And do for me whatever you find is in the best of my interest. Because oftentimes we may have a list of things, 9 of them is detrimental to us that we don't know. So it's good to say, Ya Allah, do it if you find that it is in the best of my interest. Gain is not always in the best of your interest. If it's in your mind that the way you gauge how your dua is accepted is, I asked Allah for 500,000, and tomorrow I receive 500,000, that means Allah responded. That's not always the reality. Sometimes loss is real gain. Through loss, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is protecting you from something that could have been worse. So just entrust and submit and surrender to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you will see the best of the best, inshallah.
Thank you, sir.
Ahsantu. One more minute or one more person? Sure. Sisters, you want to go for one? Brother Sajjad, you have a question? Okay. 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 Yes. Oh yes, Hajj, apparently, please. Ya Mughni.
Ya Ghani Ya Mughni.
Ya Ghani Ya Mughni. It's one of his favorite adhkar. He's a businessman. So Ya Ghani Ya Mughni, perfect with what he does. Yeah.
Ya Basil Yadin Rahma.
Ahsant.
So, sir, So we can give wasila, right? Ya Allah, for the wasila of Prophet Muhammad and his
يعني
progeny.
بحق محمد
Bibi, please
وفاطمة وعلي.
accept my prayers.
أحسنت.
We can do that,
Of
right?
course, of course. Yes. No. So he was asking about not wasila. He's asking about asking Allah to order these malaika alayhim salam or jinn that are righteous or mu'mineen to make dua for me. So the difference between asking someone else to make for you and between you asking by the haqq and by the wasila of that individual, such as the Prophet or the malaika, so on and so forth.
So, we can also, can we also ask, Ya Allah, bihakke Surah Yasin that I just recited, please make my task easier. We can do that? Or
Yeah, because in the end, you can ask Allah by the wasila of anything that is dear and near to Him. Surah Yasin, dear and near to Him. Ali ibn Abi Talib, dear and near to Him. Right? Fatimah al-Zahra, dear and near to Him. Righteous actions. وَاسْتَعِينُوا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ. Sabr is a quality, a good quality. That quality helps you. You can do isti'ana by that quality, by observing it and also by asking Allah, by this sabr that I have observed, oh Allah. Sometimes we say, by sabr al-Husayn. Ilahi bi sabr al-Husayn. Bi'atash al-Husayn. بحرقة قلب زينب على أخيها الحسين. By the heartbreaking of Zainab when she saw her brother Hussein. These moments are very dear and valuable and precious in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So yes, you can use any of the good things, good actions, good people as your wasila with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But deep down, only it is Allah with His power and permission that anything would happen. Other than that, nothing can take place in the universe without His power and His permission. Ahsantum.
And then I heard that, if you are going through a trouble in your life and you are at the qabr of your mother, you also give the wasila of your,
Yeah,
for
so
this qabr.
Samahat al-Sheikh in fact just mentioned this too. He mentioned that one of the means of accepting dua is if your parents are alive, of course, it's better you go to them. You don't wait for them to die. You go to them while they're alive. You say, Father, make dua for me. But mother has stronger connection with this respect. But if they are not in this world, then yes, you go to their grave and you make wasila, Ya Allah, biwalidi, aqdi hajati, for example. Or you just stand there by the grave and ask your haja even without saying bihaqqi walidi, for instance. But Allah would respond by virtue of you visiting your father and asking your haja near his grave.
Thank you so
Or your
much,
mother,
sir.
of course. May
Thank you
Allah
so
bless all of them. Shaykhana تحبون إضافة. Allah يحفظكم إن شاء الله. Shaykhana, final words? Any final words?
أحسنتم. To add the places of istijaba of dua. We have places Allah will accept the dua, and we have times for the acceptance of the dua. For example, one of the places under the tomb of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. During the rain, right? Or one of the places of istijaba of dua in the night of rukhsati, right? Night of rukhsati, you said in Urdu, Shaba Arusi, Laylatul Urs. That time, that night, because the marriage, it's a worship, it's a ibadah, right?
This is only for the groom or everyone?
For those, right? So in the night of the the marriage, it's the time for Allah will accept the dua, right? And of course, as Maulana mentioned, that the dua of the parents is very important, except if they are deceased, then this is our riwayat, next to the grave of the parents. And for sustenance, what's his very famous zikr? Ya Razzaq? Ya Ghani, Ya Mughni. Okay. Yes. We have, brother, all brothers, we have more than 150 items for sustenance. And one of them is after Fajr namaz, you put your right hand on your heart and you say 100 times, Ya Fattahu, Ya Razzaq. This is another names, because every name has some khususiyat. And even the name, the title of Ahlul Bayt also, right? For example, if you want to go a hajj from Imam al-Rida alayhi salatu wasalam, you tell him by your son Imam al-Jawad. We have some skill to go to Ahlul Bayt. So 100 times after Salatul Fajr, Ya Fattahu Ya Razzaq, while you put your hand on your heart. And then after Sajdat al-Shukr, after every wajib namaz, you say 14 times with one breath, Ya Wahhab, Ya Wahhab, Ya Wahhab. Right? And Ya Wahhab, the giver, yes. We have so many a'mal will increase the sustenance. For Muhammad wa ala Muhammad salawat.
I was told to take one more question, as per management. Take one more question. Any other? No? You want to give up that right? Inshallah. So, ziyara? Inshallah. Yalla. Sheikhna.